During this video, I want to cover the analytics for your survey and show you how to properly read the data that your respondents have given to you throughout their survey and throughout their answers to your questions. So once you are inside of your survey and you have received responses, you'll start to see data that looks like this here, and each section is one of your questions. So let's start at the very top. My very first question was, would you recommend our software to a friend? And my answers were likely and not likely. So on the right hand side, we can see the answers to this question. We have 10 that said likely, and we have 8 that said not likely. And then moving down the software, how easy is it to use our software? And then we have all the different answers that people selected for that as well. Do you have any feedback? This was an open-ended question, and these are the answers that our respondents typed out. Lastly, we have a multiple choice to select the features that they use daily, and we have that information there as well. Now, we can actually dive down a lot deeper inside of these analytics, which allows us to compare our different demographics, for example. So let's go back up to the very top, and we have the ability to use filters as well as a crosstab. And I'm going to show you how both of these work. But let's go ahead and get started with filters. So right now, we have 10 people who said they are likely to recommend our software, and we have 8 people who said they are not likely. Well, let's say that I wanted to look at the 10 people who are likely to recommend and see how else they answered the other questions. So inside of my filter, I am going to select the likely. And when I do that, it is only going to show me the responses of people who said they are likely to recommend my software. So when I scroll down here, how easy is it to use our software? So 4 said it's very easy, 3 said it's easy, and then 3 said neutral. When I go down a little bit further, is there any feedback about our features? This is all feedback from people who are likely to recommend our software, so I need to pay attention to this. And then down here as well, this is all from people who are likely to use our software. Now, on the other hand, let's go back up here and let's change this to not likely. These are people who did not have a good time with my software, so I only want to look at their answers. And then more importantly, I want to scroll down here and I want to see what issues they have with our features that is making them say they are not likely to recommend my software. So we can see the color grading is not up to par. The color grading, again, another color grading issue. We can see our masking needs an upgrade. It's too expensive. So all of these I can take into consideration and see how I can improve my software. And that's why our questions are very important, like we talked about in the previous video. We need to have a goal and know what type of responses we are after. And in my case, it's improving my software. Now, let me show you how the crosstab works. Let's go ahead and change this to display all. And it's kind of similar to the filters, but instead, this time, we are going to click on crosstab. And when I do that, it is going to split my answers in half. So we have likely over here, and we have not likely over here. And now we can scroll down, and on this side, this is going to be all the people who answered likely, and this is going to be all the people who said not likely. And then we can scroll down even further, and we can see how their answers, and we can compare those answers with each other. And last but not least, we have the ability to download the graph of this particular question, and we have the ability to export our data by clicking on the export button here at the top right, and that's going to go ahead and export it into a CSV file for us to use.